The 2024 income tax season is well underway. Whether you are doing your own taxes or prepping your documents for a tax professional, how can you simplify filing your income taxes? Joining us to discuss is Peter Shashecki from Everything Financial. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning.
So tax season freaks a lot of people out.
It does. They start to lose their minds and going, what do I do? What do I need? You know, when do I file? How do I do it? So it's not that difficult, really.
So if you already have your T4, can you just jump in and get started?
You can, Reagan, unless you have a non-registered investment. So if you have an RRSP and you have a TFSA and you have no other investments outside of those, then you should be good. You'll have all your other documents you need. You have your T4. Go ahead and file, and if you're getting a refund, get that money in your pocket early.
Okay, so on that note, how does a non-registered account affect filing your taxes?
Well, non-registered accounts will have other slips related to distributions, dividends, interest, and such. And those slips don't have to be sent or even produced till the end of March. So you may not get those slips till mid-April sometimes. So if you have a non-registered investment, hold off. Even call the company they're with or go online if you have online access and just double check that you've received all the receipts, because if you file and you don't include those receipts, you're going to get reassessed later, which would mean if you got a refund, you're going to owe some of that refund back.
Okay, let's talk about medical bills.
Yeah, if you have medical receipts, those are one of the many things we're talking about that are on the kind of the honor system. So keep medical receipts, submit them with your taxes, but don't throw them out. Take a photocopy, scan copy, whatever the case may be, because you don't submit them with your taxes, but you do get to write them off.
Okay, and how long do you hold on to those for?
7 years.
Okay, that's
forever. Keep them forever.
Keep them forever.
Well, that's why, I mean, if you can scan things and keep them on a drive somewhere safe, as opposed to the old days of keeping folders and folders of paper for years and years.
Okay, so an honor system, so just hold on to them.
Hold on to them, add them up. If you're doing your own taxes, great. If you're giving your taxes to someone, save yourself some time and money, and any receipts that are on the honor system, because there's quite a few, you know, add them all up and give your tax person the total.
Okay. And then the next thing I want to ask you about is RRSP receipts.
So RRSP receipts, if you have a receipt from deposits made in January or February, that 60-day, kind of the first 60-day receipt, so for 2025, you put in some money at the last minute, you don't have to use those receipts for last year's taxes. You can use them for next year's taxes. Even receipts you had before, you don't have to use them as long as you have the room, etc. But let your tax professional know, because there's some things they need to notify. But don't use a receipt. If, say, you're in a 32% tax bracket and using that extra receipt is going to put you into a 28% tax bracket, save it for next year to get the most tax refund for your buck. Lower taxes is not necessarily better because you're losing part of your refund.
What are you finding is the biggest mistake people make when filing their taxes?
They forget receipts. I mean, a lot of times they just forget to submit receipts. They forget to do things like deductions on if they're writing off part of their mortgage. They forget that, or they forget to claim rental income or rental expenses if they have a rental property. So it's just a lack of organization. So talk to a tax professional. You can usually get a tax checklist that lets you know everything you should look for. Not a bad thing to use, and spend 10, 15 minutes, a half hour getting yourself prepared, because you don't want to miss a receipt, which means you're paying too much tax.
Okay, that's good to know. So maybe get one of those file-a-fax systems.
Something like that. Anything that keeps you organized, and go through it and make sure you've covered all your bases. And don't be too eager to get it in too early, because you don't want to miss receipts. Do a double check.
Some great information there. I know I feel better after that, so thank you so much. So just a reminder that the filing deadline is April 30th. For most of us, June 16th for those who are self-employed. That's Peter Shashecki from Everything Financial. Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, Reagan.